Hey, what's up guys, McIntyre here, bringing you another little gameplay video. Today I'm actually going to be going over a Valla gameplay. Valla is like probably my favorite range assassin in the game, and it feels like every time I have a good Valla game, a lot of people, especially on my stream, are always asking me about Valla and great Valla play and XYZ. So I figured I'd do a little gameplay video of a pretty good Valla game that I had earlier today. I had one that was lined up to video and kind of go over, but fortunately Blizzard likes updating their game with hot fixes and doing that every week or so, and you lose a lot of the video because of it. Luckily I had a pretty good game here. This game kind of goes to show that it's possible to carry a Hero League game even when your team isn't the best. So I just so happened to be duo queued with one of my friends, Barcode, who was playing Uther this game. But you'll see in a lot of these team fights, my team actually manages to win the fights without much assistance. So Artanis, for example, won't be in team fights, but because of my positioning on Valla and like my overall aggression, we end up pulling ahead in a lot of fights. You'll see here just in lane, as you can tell, Artanis has been AFK and he just showed up to the lane. But as you can see in the lane, I'm mostly just focusing on pushing. Uther has really poor push. He's got okay counter push if he W's the wave when I W the wave. But, at the same time, this player doesn't do that. So I'm focused, like I said, more on pushing the wave, trying to siege up to the wall. Uther obviously can heal himself, so any poke that I put onto him isn't going to stick, and any damage he puts onto me is going to stick. So I have to be pretty cautious about that. Here I have an Abahat, so I'm just using the shield that Uther gives me to get in some poke. Again, they don't have much damage, but like I said, the damage that I do take sticks. So you can see here, I'm trying to freeze the creep, so I don't use much ammo. But I do take a fair amount of damage just from the creep. Ends up being okay. So here I'm just pushing. Again, I have the Abahat, so I'm going to play up. I have that shield, and Artanis is actually here to help me. So we're just pushing up, putting damage out. These are good trades, because this is technically a 3v2, and the Joanna plays a little too far up, and we actually pick up a kill. So that's a nice kill, just because not only does it put us a little XP ahead, but we get to this tribute without the Joanna. So Joanna spawned here, and now we have a window. You can see here that I know that we have this window. I'm not afraid of Joe, and so I know that just Falstad and Uther are going to be up here, considering Tychus and Stitches were bottom. So I'm going to play pretty far up on this Falstad and try to punish him out before the fight actually happens, because once Joe gets here, it's going to be much harder for me to do that. I got a good amount of poke on him, and now Joe's going to be showing up. So Uther's heals are down. Tychus gets poked out, but Uther's heals have been used to help that Falstad. Look, Prot Shield even comes out. So now there's teams in a weird place. Uther can't really support many people, and I'm gonna just kind of position myself here to get in auto attacks where I can. I have Murden and Artanis in front of me, so the other team isn't focusing me down, and I'm just gonna try to put out as much damage as possible. And it's good to note here too, I'm playing pretty far up. The other team is focused on these two guys, and so it's kind of allowing me as the range assassin player to play almost right beside of them. I have the ability to get out if they go on me, but if they're not clicking on me, it's my job in the team fight to put damage on the enemy. So here you see this whole time I've positioned and just attacked the Stitches down. I end up cleaning up the kill. Murden does go down, but I've damaged them while they've damaged us. So we lose Murden, they lose Stitches. Now we have this weird little, they're all pretty weak. I get a good multi-shot. Artanis gets a good, Q, and then After Hat comes up and we pick up an ace. So after getting an ace, I mean, we've essentially got ourselves a level lead ahead of the other team. So now at this rate, you know, because of Abathur Soak, we just kind of have to cruise with this lead. We have 1 trib up, we have a level. Now you know, we need to look to maybe get out camps before this next curse. I throw a little W here. I'm gonna back anyways. I might as well use my mana efficiently. So I W and then I back. Now I'm gonna go get full health. Artanis is soaking middle. Murden is soaking bottom. I remember this guy was like on and off about soaking bottom. He wasn't. So like you saw there, it was almost like he was like texting or something. Like, so it goes to show you that even on games on my main account, I get players that aren't these incredible people that, you know, are super focused and super try hard. And it's still possible to play around them and position yourself to win the game. So Murden comes up and he gets kind of chunked out. So now I have to rotate down to cover the lane. Luckily, Murden has a tap and Stitches. I'm going to wait for him to push past me because he doesn't know that I'm in this bush. Murden pops out and autos him, so I obviously have to react to the Murden. And with the help of an Abahat, I think we end up killing Stitches. This was actually I remember after dying here, I kind of said to myself, like, well, I definitely can't do that. So I let Falstad just completely annihilate me there because I was so focused on killing Stitches. And he even went charged up, which is the additional lightning rod. So I let a full W go through on me, and he autoed me that entire time. So after after that death, I've kind of made a mental note that it's very important not to let Falstad just auto me like that. So in these next fights, I need to be less greedy and position properly so that I don't just die for no reason. This is where I kind of play up middle, putting on pressure, not really showing fear to these two. I almost get punished here because of it. I think I play too far up, and Tychus gets a grenade on me and gets an overkill. And I actually challenge him, and because of the prot shield, he almost kills me, but an Abahat comes out and actually ends up saving me. So a bit aggressive there, but it's okay to play aggressive and up like that because you can find kills by kind of making the other team think that they can beat you. So here, this is a good fight where I talk about my positioning. Stitch is obviously trying to get to me, but as long as I stay away from him, he can't damage me, and he won't be damaging anyone else on my team. Joe plays a little bit too far up. A Hungering Arrow comes out and kind of cleans her up. And again, I know Stitches is here, but I need to position in the middle of my team rather than in the front or getting attacked by a carry. So they do this little, I don't know, I call it a dance, where Tychus comes and throws a grenade, then Stitches comes and throws a hook, and so I kind of was like, alright, I'm going to have to shut this down. So I come up and attack the Tychus. He doesn't get the grenade off. Stitches goes bottom, and we finally pick up our second trib curse. So now one more of those, and then we're all going to curse the other team. It's important to note we are level 10 here, so playing up and forward is good. Luckily, my Murden and my Artanis rotate down onto me. Barcode makes a clone of me, and we're going to go in for a pickup on Uther, which is really good. Good kill, using our 10 levels, lead. Obviously, we didn't use too many ultimates. We used the Ab ult, which is on a 50-second cooldown, I believe. Yep. And we ended up picking up the Uther. He's going to respawn before the next curse, but probably by the time the next curse spawns, Abathur's ultimate evolution will be back up. So, good little use of cooldowns. Murden and Lily, I'm not sure why Murden's going so hard here, but because of a good jugs from Lily, we might be able to get out. Nice little Abahat as well. I think both of these guys survive. Wow. Okay, so that was incredible, but They've used a lot of resources bottom for that, and I know 3 are down there, so I just saw Falstad fly in on the Artanis, and Joe was soaking top lane, so this is a 2v2, potentially 2v3 if Abathur hats, and Artanis starts going on this Falstad, so at first I was going to go, but I remembered my golden rule not to like go super tunnel, so I just switched back to Joe, and we ended up picking up Joe. Falstad plays a little far up, and I know he's already tumbled. So I'm going to go for a full strafe here. And his E comes back off cooldown, but I still have my E, and we end up picking up that kill. And now again, as far as positioning goes, if Uther's running away, I'm going after him. And the second he starts moving back towards me, I'm running away from him. And because of that, the reason for that is if Uther gets near me, he's going to try to stun me. So I can't let him get in the range to stun me, and he should never get in the range to stun me because on Valla you get the bonus 10% move speed. So it's important to use that. You have room to get in an auto every few, I would say in-game inches, right? So if you walk in-game inches away from the Uther, you can attack and keep your hatred stacks up, and he should never be able to catch up to you. And most of the time, if he's coming after you, then your team is attacking him. Just remember that. So this is where, we've got our first curse of the game. Abathur is pushing bottom. Their Joe is pushing middle and trying to hold it. I'm going to do my best to poke him out. My team shows up. Their team shows up. So we are just getting a nice little brawl, little scrap going on. Damage is coming out. Uther does show up. Watching out for that hook. And now Stitches is going to bile and try to engage. It's a pretty poor engage. I just kind of vault out of there. But he's overextended now, pretty far into us. So I'm gonna do my favorite sort of combo on Valla. We just hit 13. You need to make sure to practice taking your talents because we just hit 13. As you can see, no one on my team is taking 13 but me. So I've now connected my multi-shot, which is going to slow the Stitches, and I'm going to start strafing instantly after and just walk with him. And because I kind of use that combo, we end up picking up the kill on Stitches. Fortunately, Artanis does ult as well. Not the end of the world. 1 kill and Heroes of the Storm is all you're really looking for because it allows you to punish the other team because most players in Hero League want to fight. As you can see there, their team comes up. For some reason, they're down a player. It's obvious, right? They don't even have Tychus, but they're trying to defend their structures. And we continue to punish them and continue to pick up kills. We have Hards here, too. It's tanking this for us. Artanis gets a good E. D-Shield comes out. So Artanis hit his E, and D-Shield had to be used. So a big cooldown used for a low cooldown, which is really good because we're about to go into a curse fight pretty soon. Again, a good E coming out from Artanis. Our team at this point has no mana. Murden pushing his avatar, trying to make something happen, but there really is nothing to be happening. I throw out a frost shot, and we're just going to back up and hopefully back to get full health. So I'm backing, Lily's backing, Murden is tapping. If you're this Murden, just back in this case, don't tap. You're much better. Murden, especially, is a hero that you want to have full mana at all times. So is Valla. Valla is another hero that full mana bars are really important. So if you need to back, if you're like half, if you can tap and get half mana, that's not as good because Valla's kind of like a hybrid. She's a hybrid caster ranger. A lot of her damage comes from her spells, but she does have good damage coming from her auto attacks. It's all about how you sequence them together. It's what really makes her a sweet hero. So here, I just saw Falstad take a lot of damage on boss, and I've decided that I'm going to make a play. This is me making a play. Falstad's behind this wall. He actually reacts to me because he sees me on the wall, but it's too late. So I'm going to, again, execute that same combo. In this case, I end up vaulting too because these 2 towers won't kill me. It's 15 minutes in the game. So I'm going to multi-shot and then go right into strafe, and I end up picking up Falstad. Their whole team shows up here, and because of some really, really well-timed Abathur shields and this slow right there, I'm able to get out. Barely, just barely, but you know, that frost shot gave me the space that I needed to get away from the Joe auto attack, and then the hungering arrow broke Uther's mount. So, but now Falstad's dead, and we're going into this next curse fight. So, not only that, but they have a boss pushing top lane that needs to be defended. So this curse is pretty much ours for free. Tychus actually hits a mine here, and I just see that and instantly initiate on him. I do miss my hungering arrow, but my W connects, which is the most important part because that's obviously the slow. And I blood for blood him and take him out. So that's another easy pick. Just easy. You gotta capitalize on the enemy team being positioned poorly. In most cases, a lot of Vallas would see that and they wouldn't go. And it's just super important that you see the weaknesses in the enemy's armor and you engage on them. So you'll see here my team is team fighting on the boss, right? And they're gonna have the boss. But instead of standing on the point, right, I already have my teammates standing on the point, so there's no reason for me to stand on that point. I'm going to instead strafe and try to go for this Stitches kill. He ends up biling last second and getting away. But my team cleans up the Joanna without my help. And now Stitches is going to have to back for full health. And we have a 16-14 lead. And something that I see a lot of people don't do, it's very easy. You don't even have to put full sentences together, but in a case like this, just type something out to your team. Some people won't listen, right? But most of the time, you know, 14, 16, we need to be pushing. Sometimes people will do easy, sometimes, but it's the easiest thing to guide them to do something correctly by just putting in a, you know, push or back. It's like 4 letters, and it helps you win the game. So here we're 16 to 14. We have a level lead, and I'm gonna look to push it. I end up vaulting in to force my team to engage. So now my team is engaging, and this is me forcing this fight to happen. I don't know if Murden would have gone in if I hadn't gone in. But he sees me go in and he reacts with me, which is great. Now that we're fighting, this is still a good window for us to fight. Boss is tanking their keep. Worst case scenarios, we get a keep and then back up. Strafe comes out. There's no protection. Joe just used her shield. Uther's back there. As long as I don't get hooked, there's nothing that can break my strafe here. So I'm getting out pretty good damage. We actually get really, really low here. I even might get taken down. I think I do. I'm trying my best to kite around the Murden. Yeah, so we actually end up taking a few deaths here. Artanis, nice little cleanup kill. Lily might even get him out of there. I think if Abba shielded, I think Abba was shielding Murden. Abba ends up shielding this Artanis pretty soon. So it's my team just doing a really good job of navigating this team fight. This just kind of shows you the power of Artanis and an Abathur hat. And then Stitches is going to go and hook Artanis out of the fight. And he actually ends up living because of that. So yeah, so that's so we had 2 deaths, but we got to keep, right? And that was a good fight, a good example of me not having mana. Had I had a little more mana, I would have been able to tumble away and live. But it's not the end of the world. Abba obviously is split pushing top lane. We did get a keep. We are still 2 levels up. And now we actually end up fighting bottom lane still. Artanis is still there with no health at all. And I think we end up cleaning this Joe kill up, maybe, if I position correctly. Or no, we see the Uther, I see the Uther, and I back up. I choose not to fight that. Artanis thinks it's funny that he got lasered when he had no mana and health. But that's not going to push me into a bad place, right? I know the next curse is up. We're 2 out of 3. They have to come and fight, and we're going to see here soon that Tychus is going to play up, and I'm going to be expecting someone to be around the corner. And the second that I see someone around the corner, so I now see Tychus, I'm going to look to poke. and I get a good, nice little multi-shot Q. That's good damage. Uther has like a hard time healing 2 people. I see now Joe's in here. Their whole team is here. It is important to note that there's no Artanis. So this is a 3v3, or a 3v5 I guess right now without the Abba hat. Still no Abba clone. Shield comes out. Alright, now that shield's down, the coast is clear for me to strafe. I do get hit by the laser, but Cups also comes out, so it's safe for him to Cups. And got up blood for blooding, stitches. Still pretty weak. Abba hat's on me, and now the strafe's gonna come out. And at this point, we're just full defense mode. Luckily, the stitches kind of overextends. D-shield is forced, and now Barcode's gonna be making a clone. And we actually end up picking up a ton of kills because of that Artanis. I try my best to try to break this. Yeah, me and Barcode both do. They end up getting it, but we do take down Uther. And now we're going to look to just take the hards and push out. I'm thinking that those pings are probably mine as I'm rotating top. So I see that the boss is up. And again, this is like the same sort of gesture I was talking about with typing in push. If you just ping, your team's probably going to come. In this case, my team doesn't rotate instantly. So instead of rotating and just standing beside of the boss like an angry person waiting for the GameCube to come out, you know, I push middle to get us some soak at least, and then I start doing the boss. So this is me waiting at a store for the new Xbox. Like, I'm not going to be able to do this by myself. I need everybody here. So being here without people is kind of stupid. But we do get a nicely timed boss that's followed up by a curse. So something to point out here too is I've seen that the curse is spawning bottom, and I know I need to get there because my team's not rotating. And if the other team gets there, then we're going to get cursed, and that's going to kind of close out our window to win. Another quick little core with boss. And I just throw that out at my team. Stitches hooks down. You know, that's a good window for me. I see Joe show up. I'm just going to auto her until she shields me. Once she shields, I can strafe. So without her shielding, I can't strafe. So you see here, I'm just autoing. Shield comes out. Now the window to strafe is open, and I'm gonna go right into my strafe. Luckily for me, the laser wasn't on me, and it was on Murden, because I get a full strafe off. Now the laser's onto me. I end up killing the laser, and then now we're just gonna clean up Tychus. I have a nice little bolt play here. It's important to note too on this bolt, I don't bolt and then instantly try to W, because the Falstad I know is going to probably tumble. We'll just watch this fight. So I know Falstad's going to tumble after I bolt. He's going to react to my bolt, right? So instead of trying to force a combo, like if it was a KTW or something, you know, you can go for it. But in this case, I can kind of take it slow. I bolt. I make the tumble, so I'm in a position. He tumbles, and then now I have a lined up multi-shot, and then I multi-shot and blood for blood and kill him. So yeah, we end up acing their team. Artanis laser cleans up everybody. It's also important to note, when I started the video, I was talking about how Artanis wasn't there. The past 2 fights, Artanis has not been there. So the previous one was here on this curse, and Artanis ended up lasering in here, and we got some kills. And the same thing happened here. Artanis was doing hards during that fight, as you can see. His laser did come out later, but that was a 4v5. So it's possible to win 4v5s if you play them correctly. You have to know how to execute your team fight and your character. So in this game, a lot of the fights I waited on the Joe shield, because without the Joe shield coming out, like, I could not strafe, and if I strafed before it, I was just gonna get shielded. him punished. The next thing that I kind of took into consideration in this game was, you know, after dying to that Falstad in the beginning, it was kind of like, I can't let Falstad attack me freely. I need to be careful, and you know, I need to position correctly in these team fights. And then the third point is, you know, get poke in where you can. Play up when your team's taking damage. So Murden and Artanis in this game were both taking a lot of damage in these team fights. And if I wasn't attacking the other team during that damage, then they were getting punished and I was getting punished. So it's important to play aggressively, but be smart about your aggression. Always have an escape plan. Don't play up and then say, oh, well, I guess I'm dead. I didn't think about, you know, Tychus grenading me or something like that. It almost happened to me middle lane when the Tychus aggressed me with the first aid and the Uther support, and I almost died because I hadn't thought about it. I hadn't thought about the first aid and the Uther heals, and I just wasn't prepared for it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, this is just a quick little Hero League game that was a little unorganized on both teams, but I had a really fun time playing Valla. She is, again, one of my favorite range assassins to play. So if you guys did enjoy the video, please make sure to subscribe and throw a like. I stream at Twitch at McIntyre LOL, and you can always follow me at Twitter at McIntyre HOTS. I do have a tier list and a build list if you're interested in that. That is located below at my channel as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a really fun time playing this game. Like I said, I always enjoy Valla, and I hope to maybe put some more videos here soon. So thank you guys for checking out the video, and cheers.